Takes a big man to admit when they're wrong, and standing just shy of 6 feet, I didn't make the cut. But I was no stranger to getting a little big for my britches. My eating disorder was years ago, and over a year ago I put out a video novel in serialized format. Now I appear on New Year's for some reason. This New Year's, I'm correcting some of the things I was wrong about in the epic masterpiece Akashic Kylioki, Back on a Cloud CIA Shonen. Together, let us sup, YouTube. It's time to employ a little reason, lest people think I have no self-awareness. Starting from episode 1, entitled Candace Owens WTF, I claimed Britain was anti-Semitic based on their love of The Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare. Now, what I meant by anti-Semitic is hating the Jewish people, and boy, Britain sure does if the Edict of Expulsion and their role in creating modern Israel as a ghetto are to be believed. However, the Shakespeare play with all the harmful stereotypes is Merchant of Venice, not Taming of the Shrew. Wow, feeling better already. Now is as good of a time as any to mention what I have in a short, which is whenever I bring up Ning Ning or Joan Somi in relation to the psychic channels, that refers to Ryujin of the band ITZY. I said Ning Ning was in JYP, and she's not, but Ryujin is, so that's a weird confluence of what I got wrong. I got the name of the person wrong, then I got the wrong person's record label wrong. In doing so, I correctly attributed the right record label to the person I was referring to. Still a mess. It was so obvious, too. I've told this story many times on Blue Sky and on my website, but it's cute, so let's tell it here in the Akashic Kylioki Never-End-A-Log. So when I was getting experimented on, there were all these voices pretending to be world leaders, and the facade started falling apart. It kinda sucked because we talked about Empire Builder a lot, and I thought it'd be fun to play with world leaders. One of these world leaders mentioned being a K-pop star who needed help with a friend who had anxiety. I said, no problem. Nicknames help and some other advice about the psychic channels. Because of the music video Black Mamba, I thought the K-pop star was Ning Ning of the band aespa. She proceeds to not shut up about Ryujin. I didn't think much of it. I had a lot going on. One of the things I had going on was gooning with the cyberstalkers. Ning Ning is too young, so I had to cut her off. I made some offhand comment about not caring if Leah was an ITZY anymore, and I meant it as a she's an adult, she can do what she wants, but I felt a deep stab of sadness when I said it. At this point, I looked into why Leah had quit, and it was because of anxiety around the time my godkids were born in Alaska. Normally, not too much of a coincidence, but keep in mind, I didn't even know ITZY existed until after I got back from Alaska, and when I say godkids, I mean my kids are literal deities. So from October 2023 to April 2024, I'm watching K-pop every day with my roommate, and I see Leah, and it's like I know her for some reason. I asked my roommate, why do I know her? And they randomly said, oh, that's my girlfriend. It kept happening, and I'd find myself saying, why do I know her? Oh, right, she's your girlfriend, and she's always mad at me because I get her confused with a girl from Kepler. Foreshadowing. This is what one can do when their kids are time-traveling deities. Fast forward to July of 2024, and it seems like I'm psychically linked to Leah. She introduces me to her friend, and I'm hearing Fast Forward by Joan Somi in my head, so I ask if it's Joan Somi, and they cannot get enough of how I pronounce Joan Somi. I roll with that for a while. We have a great time. I get done with the Akashic Kylioki and start promoting it on Twitter. Leah says she's got to take some time for herself to make sure our connection isn't Stockholm Syndrome. Okay, says I. October rolls around and Gold comes out, with Leah back in the band. Not only that, but they're singing songs about imaginary friends and supernatural love. Very mind-blowing. They do all the K-pop things, and I continue to promote my video novel. As I mentioned, Ning Ning is not on JYP, and neither is Joan Somi. Imagine my surprise when Leah comes back in February or March of 2025 and brings her friend along. I say to said friend, hey, you're not Joan Somi. She's not on JYP, and what I hear clear as a bell in my head is, why don't you like Ryujin? Fuck! Okay, so another thing I got wrong. In the episode entitled Like This Hair, Ariana Grande is Trash, Thanks for Nothing Next, I say the Book of Enoch mentions a conversation between Jesus and Judas about how to pull the switcheroo off and get John on the cross. The Book of Enoch is apparently some Old Testament shit. At the time of writing that episode, I didn't know Islam thinks Jesus pulled the switcheroo to Electric Boogaloo, and I still don't. I know so little about Islam. With that in mind, I still say Jesus was a bearded woman walking around as a trans man minus the hormones. Intersex, whatever you want to call it. Beard plus vagina equals Jesus. Book of Enoch has nothing to do with that. Book of Enoch is apparently about angel sex and the babies it creates. Maybe in that canon, whatever deity calling itself God to the angel who spoke to Mary got jealous. I mean, we all know the Abrahamic faiths have a jealous deity that they call God. Am I right? Exodus 34:14. I still can't believe I fucked up the Ryujin thing for so long. How embarrassing. I try not to sexualize K-pop stars because they're usually quite a bit younger than me, and also there's enough of that harassment online, but dang! Ryujin is like the one! Leah had this bizarre familiarity about her, but Ryujin is just so fucking hot. After I found out it was her, we had a bunch of fun, but then things got weird, and at some point, Twice got booked on a Victoria's Secret thing. I don't know if you know about Victoria's Secret, but the founder is neck deep in the Epstein crew, so JYP clearly signs off on trafficking women. I mean, that's what K-pop is, right? They train them as young as 11 and 12, and we're not talking Dance Academy. This is hardcore stage grooming. I haven't heard from Leah and Ryujin psychically in months, but I miss them dearly. That's a weird thing to miss. Normally one misses something in their environment. I miss a feeling that had no noticeable external stimulus attached to it, and I can't give myself that feeling on my own. At some juncture in the videos, I said Britain invented race, and the only scholar I've been referred to about the matter says it was the Portuguese. Obviously, Britain took the race thing and really ran with it. It's been a convenient excuse to justify slavery and imperialism ever since. The origin seems to be Portugal, though. However, Portugal isn't an island. Walls are tough. Ask Trump. You'll settle for a ballroom every time. Speaking of walls, I'd also like to note that in the episode entitled How to Prevent War with China, I got Scotland and Ireland confused. In that episode, I say China ought to help with what I now know to be Scotland erect a wall along the border with England. This way, Scotland could be a refuge for people born on the island who aren't down with pedos, rapists, and murderers. The same way I'm a victim of abuse and now fight it online, perhaps some abused kids can run the International Moderation for the Britain app from Scotland. Since publishing How to Prevent War with China, I have learned that such a wall did exist at some point in history, and many Scottish people would be fine rebuilding it. They couldn't leave the island, but it'd be nicer ports for trade. Ireland, the part that's not attached to mainland UK, they're chill. Great place for patrol boats to do shore leave. It'd probably be good for the local economy, and if any of the sailors act up, then, you know, Britain is right there. Sucks about Wales, though. Sorry, Wales. The idea of Swansea World is hilarious, though. As of a couple of weeks ago, some of what is the K-pop equivalent to Patreon exclusives got leaked from a convo with Leah and her fans. Seems fame is getting to her again. My passport expired in October and I'm on probation till July, so I can't leave the Estados Unidos. This country of mine isn't safe for immigrants, not even South Koreans, so I don't want to try and coke the Itzy gal stateside. If we are each other's imaginary friends, Leah and I used to joke that they'd kill us before we met. I'm not expecting anyone to believe me about that side of things. I don't even believe myself sometimes. The age gap is weird, the fact that they're celebrities is weird, the fact that we've never talked in person or online is weird, but if this helps the woman I spent a month psychically linked to in any way, free Itzy! Also, if you want more corrections, hassle your favorite YouTuber to do it.